Well, welcome everybody. My name is Sara Jane Abbott. I'm the marketing director at the Evanston Chamber of Commerce. And what we're starting to do is daily, we're talking to our members and we're doing water cooler chats. A little interview to just touch base and see how everyone's doing. And today we're speaking with Allison Lovering. Hi, Allison.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Sara Jane. My name is Allison Lovering. I'm a physical therapist here in Evanston. I work for a small private company. We're called Doctors of Physical Therapy. My office right now is actually located within the COS Medical Office Building at 2500 Ridge. We're just right next to the Evanston Hospital, sharing space. We work with pretty closely with the podiatrist in the building and some of the other providers in the medical office building. And in the not so distant future, our date has changed a little bit. We will also be expanding and opening a second location up on Emerson and Ridge. So just 5 minutes further up the road. So we're really looking forward to expanding in the community here pretty soon. Not quite sure when, because obviously things have changed a little bit in our area here.
Our shelter in place has definitely changed how everyone's doing business. And, you know, with the governor saying yesterday that we're going to go into the end of May, we really just have to continue to do things like this, reach out to each other virtually, and then figure out how we can adapt. So tell me a little bit about how your business is, like how your office day is.
Yeah, so I think being in healthcare, since the original shelter-in-place order went into effect, physical therapists were deemed essential healthcare providers. There's a lot of debate amongst physical therapists when that first happened, but really one of our main abilities and why that decision was made is because we do have the ability to protect the front line, so to speak. So a lot of folks now are able to connect with their primary care providers or various doctors remotely via telehealth. And we've been hearing a lot about people staying out of the ER. And when people have acute pain, you know, you're spending a lot more time at home and running around after your kids or taking care of, you know, different things around the house. You know, people are still going to throw out their back. People are still going to sprain their ankle. You know, those types of injuries don't necessarily need to say, okay, and now I'm really stuck on my couch, you know. And so to have the ability to connect with us, both in the office, and then we also offer telehealth visits now as well. So we really have the ability to operate almost exactly as we always do. We, of course, have made some changes into what our normal work day would look like. I've a much lower volume of patients coming into the office, which is great. It really allows us the opportunity to not only protect our staff by reducing the amount of contact that we're having with people, but of course, protect our patients. Keeping every visit one-on-one. So in the clinic, it's only myself wearing my mask and then the patient. And then of course, we've really, you know, ramped up our disinfection procedures and hand hygiene, all these things they talk about on the news. These are practices that we employ all the time, but to, you know, be able to spray down every single surface that a person touches during every single session and just really have control over our environment. Allows us to be pretty confident in our ability to keep the people safe who are choosing to come into the office. So the telehealth visits have really been an exciting, you know, new change for my normal workday and for, I think, healthcare in general. And it's been really, really exciting to see how much of a positive impact we can still have on our patients and helping them through whatever it is that, you know, is still a problem for them, even when their normal day-to-day has changed. Because that bum-knee is still going to be a problem if you want to go out and go outside for a walk. You know, maybe you're not walking to your office every day or commuting to work, but you know, you want to still be able to get out. You do still need to be able to go to the grocery store and do those everyday things. So
Absolutely.
it's been really well received, and so we're thrilled to be able to have the capability to cater to people who are approaching the situation with, a variety of different kind of self-imposed restrictions within what our public health officials are recommending.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great too, though, how everybody and the community is adapting to this virtual world. I mean, my daughter does her appointments once a week for telehealth as well, and it's her psychologist. And it's just really important for her to still have that connection every week. She's back from college, and the anxiety for a 21-year-old is just like, wow.
Yeah,
Um, and if she gets the support, on her Zoom.
absolutely. I think especially too, we talk about, well, social distance doesn't mean social isolation, but
Yeah,
sometimes for a lot of people out there, those regular appointments or those regular parts of your everyday that seem kind of mundane,
right.
that's your interaction with other people. And one of the reasons why I love being a physical therapist and why I'm in this line of work is the connection that I have with my patients and
You're
the
a people
relationship
person.
we develop.
Yeah.
And so to still be able to pursue that, of course it looks a little bit different when I'm talking to a computer screen technically, but I still
Yeah.
get to, have that conversation every day of, you know, how are you doing? What's going on with your back? But also, how are you coping with things? What does your new normal look like? And
Right.
to be able to offer that education of things related to not only the orthopedic issue that we're dealing with, but also safe practices in the community and things to look out for, because I look around every day and see people not using gloves appropriately and those
Yeah.
types of things. So to have that opportunity not only to be a physical therapist and help them through the injury or diagnosis that we're talking about, but also say, you want to make sure that you're wearing your mask. It's really a good idea to keep hand sanitizer in your car, in your purse, so that after you do go to the grocery store, this is when you should be using it, because I think a lot of people just aren't quite understanding some of the information that we're getting. So to be
Yeah.
another opportunity to provide that information to people, I think is also really valuable right now, because how can we protect others from ourselves, and how can we protect ourselves from the general community is a real challenge, and something that needs to be on the forefront of our mind, pretty
Yeah.
much every day right now.
That's incredible. So, in addition to everything that you're adapting to, what other projects are you working on?
Yeah, so I think having this conversation is such a great opportunity to work on connecting virtually with our community. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking to expand and opening that second location. So having a lot of events and marketing opportunities that our plans in relation to that have definitely evolved. And I think that social media and virtual outreach is something that people have of course been utilizing for a very a pretty long time at this point, but it's something that we really haven't delved into much in depth lately, and up until this point. So to kind of capitalize on those opportunities right now, there's a little
Yeah.
bit of a learning curve associated with that, and how do we make those little tweaks and changes. And it is a little bit of a blessing in disguise right now to have a bit more um, free time, so
Time.
to speak, to
Yeah.
kind of delve into those projects, because in general, my day in day out focus is all day every day just treating patients, because I pretty much have a full caseload throughout the week. And so to have a little bit more time right now to kind of delve into some other marketing opportunities and community outreach, and of course staying up to date on what's going on in the field.
Yeah.
We there's so much new research coming out about COVID-19, and I think there's a lot in the news about what are we doing for patients who are actively being treated in the hospital. But for physical therapists and for rehab professionals, it's what are the long-term effects of these people who've been ventilated
Right.
for 2 weeks time, and what are they looking like coming out of the hospital? Are there things that we can do to prevent
Mhm.
risk and manage risk prior to coming in contact with this virus. And um, respiratory exercises and things like that are something we've talked about a lot in the field
Right.
for older clients and in geriatrics, but we're starting to say, wait a minute, we should be able to apply these to these patients who are, have just had a very arduous journey in battling this respiratory virus. How can we support their rehab after their discharge from the hospital? When I watch the news and you see these really uplifting stories of folks being, beating the virus and getting discharged from the hospital,
And
and all the
love
providers are outside clapping for them, I look at that and I say, look at this person struggling to get out of that wheelchair and make it into their car, right? Because
that.
that's a part of, we've made it out of the hospital, what now?
Mhm.
And to be able to, again, connect with these people virtually and say, okay, like, let's look around your house. Oh, you have to go up and down the stairs every day. How
Right.
do we get your endurance back? Or how do we build up your strength when you haven't been out of bed in 2 weeks? That really takes a toll on our body.
You know what I think would be really great, just thinking about your projects and things, you have a lot of expertise, and I wonder if we could have you at the Evanston Chamber do one of our Zoom at Noon series and just really talk about, yes, what you're doing, but just the experience, what the education you're learning. It seems you're much deeper than everybody's just getting from the governor's speech every day. So that you could share, as well as these proactive things that we could do, because I know there's so
Yeah.
many things that we react to and we need to be more proactive.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, when was that? Maybe about a week ago, I went out and kind of filmed just a short series of a few different um, in-home exercises. I
Okay.
did one on like cardiovascular exercises for back pain, some stress management techniques. So we're going to be rolling
Yeah.
those out on our Facebook page moving forward, and I think we'll probably be filming, intermittent short series like that. So I'd love to include one on, respiratory exercises and
Yeah.
things like that can be used both preventatively and is a recovery as well. And
Yeah.
those are great. All you need is a place to sit, right?
Yeah.
And so they're definitely it's an interesting realm of exercise that I think we don't ever think of it as exercise. And that's a lot of what I do every day is, wow, this is really hard. I never thought about using my body in this way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that on the calendar. So the last question I'd love to ask you is, through all of the anxiety and stress and this change of, our whole new norm, we always say now, right? It's this whole new space of not connecting physically as much. And what do you do for a work-life balance?
I think I'm a little bit lucky in this sense because my life stresses look a little bit different, I think, from the average person. I still get to come into my office most days out of the week.
You're very
Um,
lucky.
I feel very comfortable and in control when I am going out into the community because I have that, different baseline level of knowledge about how to, keep myself and keep others around me safe. I don't have kids at home that I have to worry about e-learning, and my family, my immediate family is all safe and healthy and all of that kind of stuff. But I think my biggest challenge was for me balancing work and life stresses comes from exercise and my like physical outlet. That's really my way of de-stressing at the end of the day. And so with the gym closed and my normal kind of workout routine looking very different and being
Right.
in the home exclusively has been a bit of a challenge, but I've been really surprised or pleasantly enjoying a lot of the online outlets and the
Oh,
variety of
yeah.
different at home kind of outreach that a lot of our local and national kind of fitness professionals have been putting out there and exploring that a little bit, which is beneficial twofold because of course I'm using it for myself, but I have so many patients that are interested in looking for those types of activities as well.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person where you'd think I'm perfectly equipped to manage all this stuff on my own at home, but I really need somebody kind of cracking the whip, so to speak, to get me off the couch a little bit. So
Motivation, I totally
to have some different online structured yoga classes and things like that to kind of put as my okay, it's this is your normal time where you'd normally go and you do your run. Okay, like let's get out there and put the buds in and have somebody kind of guiding you through and doing that kind of stuff. And for myself, and then also when I have patients who are like, oh my gosh, I miss the gym, I miss this class, I miss this thing that I did twice a week. How do I replace that? It's, oh, you know what I just tried, or oh, somebody I know just had this, or to be able to have those conversations with my clients, and then of course to be able to utilize them myself is very, very, I'm very thankful to have people adjusting in that way.
I'd love to share with you some of our members too. Izzy Fit, she it's True Fit actually. Izzy is the owner, and she's got personal trainers, and she's doing a lot of virtual classes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Heaven Meets Earth Yoga Family Studio. Lisa Weber's the owner, and she's got most of her practitioners doing classes as well. It's incredible how much adapting. I'm an Evanston Athletic Club member, and they have virtual classes now. I can do Pilates.
Right, I saw that. That's great.
It's awesome. It's almost like that. It's when the Peloton happened, that Peloton craze. And so now we're just all doing Peloton, right? We're getting.
I know. Actually, Peloton is one of the outlets they have. I didn't realize that they had really a pretty diverse range of in-app classes, so to speak.
It's
I kind of just, it was the bike, and then I saw they kind of came out with a treadmill, but they extended their free trial period. I think it was maybe 90 days or something like that, and they have yoga, and they have body weight training, because of course now all the fitness equipment is completely impossible to come by. But there's so much you can do just in your home with either arms and your arms and legs in a chair kind of thing. They also have meditations, which I've been using to help me sleep sometimes at night when I have those nights where you just can't turn the brain off. So that's been nice as well. So I've definitely been exploring all of those options. But I also love to be able to connect my patients with people in the community, because right now it's a great place to start a relationship. And then if you really are enjoying what you're getting out of it in the home and with this different approach, I think the possibilities are really endless when we go back to really doing what we do best when kind of all passes.
Wonderful. Well, this has been lovely chatting with you this morning, and I really appreciate your time. And
likewise,
we'll definitely connect in person. But in the meantime, we'll try to get you on the calendar for one of our Zoom at Noon series and get some of those exercises for people to do proactive things, or if there's exercises or just your education, you really have an expertise. Thank you.
I would love that. I mean, and my most important thing is giving people what they really need. So if people have specific requests and we kind of find there's this general trend of, here's something that a lot of people are really interested in, to be able to kind of approach it in that way, that would be great. So, either they can reach out to me directly, or if they want to reach out to you and we can kind of collaborate in that sense, I think that would be awesome. I would love to do that.
We definitely will. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.